Call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise and join us by invocation from Matt Koch, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Morning, Matt.
Hit the button. Thank you.
All right, pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time that we can be together, for managing this county. We lift our leaders up to you. We ask for your hand upon their lives, guidance in their lives. We thank you for the people of this community. Keep us all safe and well. Keep your hand upon this world, this nation that we live in. Guide and direct us and help us through all of our ups and downs. In your name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Matt. Can I get roll call, please?
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner Grantham.
Here.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
County Manager Bryant.
Present.
Okay, move on to approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, we do have a couple of changes to make to today's agenda. So I move to approve today's agenda with the tabling of new business items number 2 and number 8 to our next meeting on September 14th, starting at 9:30 a.m.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with tabling of items number 2 and number 8 till September 14th. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
On to the consent agenda. We have item number 4 is resolution number 32.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we approve the consent agenda, including the resolution number 32 on item number 4.
And I will also note, I second that, but I also will make the note that we are not scheduling a public hearing into the future in today's agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We move on to staff and elected officials. We'll start off with County Manager Sonny Bryant. County Manager's report. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. So a couple of updates. We are continuing with the construction of the Pathfinder Community Center. So we actually were very fortunate in getting everything ordered when we did, getting that project started. We have hit a small road block with the insulation in that. And so there was a slight delay. They're anticipating just a little bit behind schedule on that, but it's all coming together very nicely. We have also continued to work on the 2022 budget, so all of the departments and elected officials are putting in their information. We're starting to get some requests to add to that, and so we're compiling all of that information, and we'll be presenting to the commissioners starting in September for our first budget meetings. We continue to go through the process of refinancing the 2013 certificates of participation. So we're really excited that in this process we'll be saving over $3 million of interest over the next about 15 years. And so that's a pretty big deal. The next thing is we have hired Rachel Miller as our grants administrator. So she started yesterday and we're really excited. She's hit the ground running, trying to learn all of the American Rescue Plan Act regulations to see what we can and can't spend the money on. She's already actually submitting a couple of grant applications for some other things that we had been looking at. And so she's definitely hit the ground running and is doing very well on day 2. She showed back up, so that's always a plus. The last thing is we are looking for a director of planning and zoning. And so if anybody knows anybody that has those credentials or that interest, let us know, send them our way. And we will hopefully get that position filled very quickly. I do appreciate all of the work that the department is going through, just trying to keep everything updated. We are using an outside consultant to try to not get a backlog of some of those applications. And so I appreciate all the public's patience as well and all of the businesses that we work with to try to help us get through this process. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
And then
And the sales and use tax report?
yes, so the Retail sales tax collections through June. So the month of June came in at $805,587, and I apologize for how small that is. Let me zoom in a little bit. So that's up $126,584 from June of last year. And year-to-date, we are up $867,028. So this amount is split between the sales and use tax fund and the general fund. So those numbers are coming in very, very high. The auto use tax collections, so in the month of July, it did come in slightly lower than July of last year, but year-to-date, we are still up $258,413. The construction use tax collections for the month of July came in at $24,920, which is up from July of last year, and year-to-date, we are up $75,860. And the lodging tax collections in the month of June came in at $87,331, which is a huge number. So year-to-date, we are up $73,616, so it's off to a great start. The sheriff retail sales tax collections, so in the month of June, that came in at $537,066. So year-to-date, that is up $578,027. The sheriff auto use tax collections came in at $75,644. Year-to-date, we are up $172,275. And last, the sheriff construction use tax came in at $16,133. Year-to-date, we are up $58,775. And so, as I had indicated, all of these numbers are they're very high. We're continuing to monitor all of them. We're taking this into consideration as we prepare the 2022 budget, but we are still very conservative. And so we're not going to assume that these trends will continue, but it's definitely good for right now.
I think as soon as the dealers get caught up on cars, they'll increase, because those are down because of that, I think, so.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing. The lodging tax one is, wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah, a little bit surprising, but a little bit not when you drive through Fremont County, because
Traffic.
I think we're all dealing with the additional traffic, so it's not really that surprising that it looks like that right now.
Wow, thank you, Sunny. Okay, anyone else
Maybe.
have anything to say?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I may. I just would like to mention that the three of us and our county manager, Sunny, went all the way up to Central City last week for the CCI, Colorado Counties Incorporated Mountain District meeting. We hold district meetings through CCI. There are 5 of them all throughout Colorado. We belong to the Mountain District, so we attended that meeting last Thursday. We had really great conversations about wildfire prevention and protection. We talked about opioid settlement. We talked about CSU extension. We just had a lot of really great conversations. One of the main things that we do at those meetings is we discuss proposed legislation that has been put on the board by every county across Colorado. Right now, we have about 70 different items that county commissioners are proposing to run legislation in the 2022 legislative session. We will be working over the next 6 weeks or so to take those 70 or so items down to maybe 7 or 8. And then CCI will work hard to find bill sponsors for those things that are very important to all of Fremont County. That will make life a little bit easier in all counties in Colorado, and then see if we can get those pushed through. We had a really great year last year. I think 6 of our 8 top priorities all were approved very quickly and easily and went through to the governor's desk for signature. So having said that, the last couple of weeks, I also have traveled to Montrose and to Johnstown, Colorado for some district meetings there. And in the next 2 weeks, I also will be headed to Akron, which I had to find on a map, didn't know where that one was, and down to Trinidad. So the fun continues, and it's just been a really great year. So it's one of the things we're all working on.
Right, thank you. Commissioner Grantham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just to kind of tag on to that just a little bit as far as like all the legislation that is coming from all the different counties. Obviously, that's something that will be worked on over the next few months before the next legislative session. And speaking of that, Fremont County, Canyon City got to host a a hearing this last week for the redistricting and reapportionment committees, and apparently that was very well attended. I was not able to attend. I got to babysit grandkids, so that was a much higher priority. But from everything I've heard, it went very, very well, and the commission for both the reapportionment and redistricting were very receptive to the testimony that was given here in Canyon City, and we look forward to seeing hopefully those maps drawn in a favorable way for the benefit of Fremont County citizens for both our state house, state senate, and congressional districts. And that's all I've got.
Interestingly enough, I heard on the radio a few minutes ago before we came down that 2 people have already declared for the congressional position in that district that is not settled yet. But that was interesting.
I wonder if they know something we don't.
I don't know. Thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? All right, we'll move on to if there's any citizens who wish to address the commissioners on matters not scheduled on today's agenda, now is the time.
Seeing none.
They're all looking down too, they're not even looking at me now. Okay,
Don't call on me.
so we'll move on to, we have no old business, we'll move on to new business. And the first item is a proclamation for September 2021 as Suicide Awareness Month throughout Fremont County. We have Jessica Cobbler here with us again this morning. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning. Thanks for being here again today. You're so faithful in coming every fall. You can do both if you'd like. However you would like to proceed, just let us know and we'll take care of it.
All right, so I'll start. Thank you for having me. I'll start by reading off the proclamation. National Suicide Prevention Month is this month, or next month, September 2021. Whereas Fremont County is home to more than 46,000 people, a place of destination for thousands of visitors annually, and the site of about a dozen state and federal correctional facilities. And whereas the Fremont County coroner reported 20 suicides were investigated in 2020, none of which were offenders in the state and federal prisons. And whereas Fremont County's average number of deaths by suicide typically is 12 to 16 per year. Whereas suicides cost Colorado a total of more than $1 billion of combined lifetime medical and work loss in 2017, or on average of $1.2 million per suicide death, according to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And whereas in 2020, suicide was Colorado's 7th leading cause of death, and whereas among all injury deaths occurring in Colorado in 2020, suicide was the 2nd leading cause of death, just below motor vehicle fatalities. And whereas on average, there are 132 suicides per day in the U.S., and whereas on average, 1 person dies by suicide every 7 hours in the state. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that September 2021 is hereby designated as National Suicide Prevention Month in Fremont County. The County Commissioners do urge all people of Fremont County to become educated on suicide prevention, awareness, and support those affected by suicide during this month and throughout the year. Signed this 24th day of August 2021. So thank you again for doing the suicide proclamation for September. Thank you, Carrie Canterbury, for coming up with the proclamation for me. He is the reason I'm here.
Jessica, could you hold that up a little bit so the camera can maybe get
Which way am I holding?
an angle on it? Yeah, there you go.
My son Dalton. He died by suicide on June 18th of 2014. He was only 18 years old. He was smart, kind, handsome, and funny. He graduated the 2014 Florence High School valedictorian. He really was an amazing young man. I'm also here for all those lost to suicide, depression, and mental illness. I am here trying to break the stigma about mental health. I am not an expert, I am just a mom who lost her son to suicide. I may be a little long-winded today, I just have a few different things I want to share with you today. I usually share the same things about Dalton. How could I not? I don't have any new memories to share. So this time I decided to share something written by a friend of his. Thank you. She was a grade younger than him in high school. Her and I have kept in touch over the years through a Facebook message here and there. She sent this to me on June 17th of this year. I'm sharing because I want you to know what his friends thought of him, not just what I, his mom, thinks of him. She writes, "Each day I know when someone passes, everyone uses words like, 'Oh, how loving, smart, and how sweet.' But knowing Dalton was really quite an amazing treat. He seemed a little on the quiet side until your paths began to collide. Then suddenly he was full of life and conversation. He could help shed light on any situation. He was always there when you needed to talk. He was genuine and didn't care to follow the flock. That beautiful mind had so many ideas, stories, and such. They sat inside his head and probably at times became a little too much. Not that you could tell, he always wore a welcoming grin very well. I wish he could have felt his friends and family's love while he was still here, all the people who hold him so dear. We miss him not just today, but every day, though he is always around us like a warm sun's ray. Whenever we watch a Nuggets game, when we meet a stranger with his name, if we hear a cheesy science pun, or when we hear a song that reminds us of his everlasting fun. He's not gone, not really, to believe that is quite silly. Dalton is here with us through the good and the bad, and I know he wouldn't want us to be so sad. So we remember him each day until we reunite and can put our sadness at bay. Rest in paradise, Dalton." Along this journey of suicide loss, I've met some amazing, brave, strong, broken, but blessed people. I've gotten to meet some, as we call each other, warrior moms and sister moms. I met first through Facebook, and some of us have got to meet in person. We are very protective of each other's kids. We feel as though we know them through the stories we tell about them. I'd like to share a little about my friend Shay Black and her son AJ that died by suicide. AJ was 17 and a junior in high school when he died, just about to finish up his junior year. He had been working a job at a pizza place in Berthoud, Colorado for about 3 weeks, was about 5 weeks out from qualifying and wrestling at state in Denver at the Pepsi Center. He loved wrestling, loved the lake, wakeboarding, shooting, and loved animals. He made music on his laptop, that electric techno kind, and built his own speakers that took up the whole backseat of his Taurus. He would thump that music so loud and take videos of his rear view mirror thumping. He was also voted class clown for his senior year, which he never made it to. Shay shares the pineapple story. It is a story of hope. There is always hope. I'd like to share it with you today. AJ loved pineapples. We aren't sure why, but he truly loved them. While he liked to eat them, he loved to wear them and have them on his things. Pineapples are fresh, they can be colorful, and they are oh so sweet inside, but with an exterior that hides what is actually inside, just like AJ. When he was still alive, he would drag Alicia and I all over the place looking for pineapple shirts, underwear, shorts, just about anything he could find to wear with a pineapple on it. He even went so far as finding and ordering online a Ronix wakeboard that not only has pineapples on it, but it is a scratch and sniff pineapple smell. Only my boy could find a scratch and sniff pineapple wakeboard. For whatever reason, at that time, it was difficult to find things with pineapples on them. They just weren't very popular. So it was always a challenge to find him pineapple things. They weren't on store shelves or in online pictures. But you and I both know that was about to change. Soon after AJ died, it seemed like there were pineapples everywhere. They were on clothes, they were being used as decorations, they surrounded us. My first thought was it was AJ speaking to us, keeping his memory alive, and telling us he is okay, and I do still believe that this is the case. Whether it be our loved ones or it be God, they both wanted us to know that our family and friends who have passed away are okay, safe, and happy, and they want us to be happy. Tears through smiles, I always say. But I believe there is so much more to the pineapple story. One day, the realization hit me. The pineapples surrounding us all are here for so much more than just a reminder of AJ. They are here in droves to show us all hope. AJ spent a lot of time searching for his pineapples, but he struggled to find them. If he would have just waited a little bit longer, do you see how many pineapples he would have been surrounded by? His pineapples were coming. They were just around the corner. If he would have taken just a moment to realize that tough times and challenges come and go, and reminded himself that his pineapples were coming, maybe he wouldn't have made that horrible, spontaneous decision. And if he would have reached out to any of us, we could have told him that his pineapples were coming. He was just at a temporary spot where he couldn't find them. But they were there, just waiting to be discovered and enjoyed. Maybe not that day, but they were coming. He just needed to get to them, and we would have helped him. We would have done anything. But unfortunately, AJ made the decision to leave this life. He left when the pineapples were so close to surrounding him. Just look at what he could have today if he just wouldn't have left. Just look at all the hearts that would not be broken if he just wouldn't have left. So the lesson here for us all is that your pineapples are coming. Sometimes they are just moments away, but if you give up now, you won't ever see them. You have to keep reaching, keep striving, keep asking for help, and keep taking those deep breaths. Keep telling yourself that it is okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to miss out on your pineapples. When you see a pineapple, continue to think of AJ, his humor, his light, his love, but I also want you to think of hope. When you see a pineapple, your hope. I know in the proclamation there were some statistics about suicide. I just want to give you a few more. In Colorado, suicide is the 7th leading cause of death. In Colorado, suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death for ages 15 to 44. In Colorado, suicide is the 5th leading cause of death for ages 45 to 54. Colorado ranks 5th in the U.S. for suicides. In the U.S., statistics from 2019, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death. In the U.S. in 2019, 47,511 Americans died by suicide. In the U.S., on average, there are 130 suicides per day. These statistics are shocking, but we can make a difference. I'm also here to invite you to join me for the 5th annual Fremont County Out of the Darkness Community Walk hosted by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The walk will take place on Saturday, September 25th at Centennial Park here in Canyon City, beginning at 9 a.m. You can register online for the walk at afsp.org/Fremont. You can walk as an individual, join a team, or create a team. There is no fee to walk or no minimum amount to fundraise. We will also have a silent auction with lots of great items to bid on. We will also have a memory area to share a photo or a message of a loved one. For those of you that have been there and those of you that have not, this is an event of hope, healing, and connection, and I look forward, and hopefully we get to keep this event in person this year. So thanks for having me again today and allowing me to speak and share the stories. I brought some resources, some of the suicide awareness ribbon pins for you guys, and a couple walk flyers to hand out.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming. You said it right off the bat, being a warrior mom. It's pretty amazing. So,
Thank you.
Couple of quick things I would say is, first of all, the message that Dalton's friend sent to you on the 17th of June, that was truly beautiful.
Yeah.
But she had a line in there, Jessica. She said that she wished that he would have felt his friends and his family's love. I can guarantee you that he felt that. He knew.
He did.
He did know.
His head was telling him something else.
The other thing I wanted to say is I did not know Dalton personally, but I can tell you, you just presented all of these pictures of him. Every single attribute that you said Dalton had, you can find up here. You can see him looking very smart and studious. You see him looking a little bit mischievous.
Yeah.
You see the silly, silly grin that just makes you want to laugh. And you can see what an overachiever he is because he just did everything. And so all of those things shine through, even to those of us who did not actually know him. And so I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And same, Jessica, thank you again. I don't pretend to imagine how hard it is to stand here and do that, but we appreciate this.
Thank you.
And people need this, and I didn't know Dalton either. As you know, I got to meet him once.
Yeah,
And I wish I could have known him better.
I do too.
But I thank you, just thank you again.
thank you, I appreciate you guys.
Can I get a motion for approval of this proclamation, Commissioners?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, with that, I move to approve the proclamation of September 2021 as Suicide Awareness Month throughout Fremont County.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the proclamation for Suicide Awareness Month of September 2021. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Here's a signed resolution for you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we should put that last instead of first. Gosh. Just because it's heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, but thank you for what you do, Jessica. Okay, we do have 4 more minutes here before we got some public hearings.
We got time.
Let's jump right into item number 3, because we tabled number 2, which is a proclamation for September 7th through November 7th for Fremont Fall Heritage Days throughout Fremont County. We have Linda Skinner from the Heritage Commission here this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you kind of put me in a different space, and I appreciate everything you've been through, and thank you for sharing your story. So I'm Linda Skinner, and I am representing the Fremont County Heritage Board. We're a 9-person volunteer board appointed by the county commissioners, and we work on education for heritage-type activities around the county. We meet monthly, and we do education by putting out self-guided tour books, heritage books, that are available for the tourists and visitors to our county. We also review local landmark applications. It's been pretty sparse this year, but hasn't everything. Each year we also help to sponsor the Fremont Fall Heritage Days and events that are tied to heritage that we usually encourage people to have those events, although with COVID, we are taking a little step back from that and just saying thank you to those who are still having events this year and recognizing more the 160th anniversary of our county. And so with that...
One of the original counties.
Yes.
One of the original?
One of the original Colorado counties.
Okay. And with that, I'll read the proclamation. For Fremont Fall Heritage Days, September 7th through November 7th, 2021. Whereas Fremont County was created in November 1st, 1861 by the Colorado Territorial Government as one of the state's 17 original counties. And whereas Fremont County will celebrate its 160th anniversary on November 1st, 2021, and Canyon City, the 150th anniversary of its incorporation on April 2nd, 2022. And whereas the Fremont County Heritage Commission wishes to recognize the 100 years of determination, grit, and resourcefulness demonstrated by the county's residents, businesses, and local governments, and whereas the Fremont County Heritage Commission, in cooperation with the Fremont County Historical Society, Royal Gorge Regional Museum and History Center, and the Western Fremont County Historical Society, recognizes Fremont Fall Heritage Days during September, October, and November to celebrate our heritage and historical resources. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that September 7th, 2021 through November 7th, 2021 is hereby designated as Fremont Fall Heritage Days. The County Commissioners do urge all people of Fremont County to participate in identifying, preserving, promoting, and celebrating our rich heritage and historical resources during this period and throughout the year. Signed this 24th day of August, 2021.
That's awesome. Do you remember where you were when Fremont County became a county?
Are you looking at me or are you looking over
Oh,
here?
my goodness. I don't think any of us were around, but it is something to celebrate, for sure.
What exactly were you doing?
Yeah,
Thanks, Linda. Thanks for being here.
thank you.
Yes,
Tell us about that.
thank you.
One thing I would say is, you had mentioned the self-guided tour books. We do
Yes.
have those available here in our building upstairs in room 105. I have actually purchased several sets of those to give to family members. People love those things. To
Yeah.
take a Sunday drive, to go out and see something, to learn something new that they never had any idea was really there, and to learn all of the history and the heritage behind it, they're amazing. They're one of the most fun things that we have here in Fremont County.
They are fun, and I can't keep my own set because I say, "Oh, you need to look
Just
at this."
keep
Yeah,
giving
and it
them away.
disappears, and I'm like, "I thought I had that book."
And I think we do have them in the office up here, but I think they're available at the chamber as well, right?
Yes.
For if folks want to get them, because
And
they
at
are.
the Royal Gorge
In
Museum
the Royal
as
Gorge
well.
Museum, yeah,
and
because we have locals come in as well as tourists looking for them all the time, so.
Yeah, it's great.
And just to tack onto that, I think November 1st, the actual birthday, 160th, I think we're in the beginning stages of formulating a celebration down here at the
Yes.
county building. There'll be more to come on that, but plan on it for November 1st here at the county building, whether it's inside or outside, may depend more on the weather. But
We have lots of fun ideas, we just haven't pieced it all together.
we'll get it all pieced
Yes.
together and get everybody informed on what we're going to do with that. So
Yeah.
look forward to that.
Just as a little spoiler alert, it involves cool things in this building,
Yes, yes.
and maybe the spirits might show up.
Oh, those are fun.
And just a couple other items of note. At the meeting that Commissioner Bell mentioned that we were at up in Central City with Carter counties, it was noted that the 150th anniversary of Colorado is coming up, but that's not until 2026. And so we are already celebrating our 160th birthday here in Fremont this year. Us and the other 16 original counties predate the state by quite a bit. 15 years, I guess, to be exact. So we have a long storied history here. And just another, before I'm going to move this proclamation, but the Heritage Commission, one of these things that we see in a county like this with a population base here in Canyon City is things tend to be Canyon City centric. And the Heritage Commission does a great job of keeping the entire north to south, east to west aspect of our history and heritage very much in mind, and I think the guided, self-guided tours point that out, and just being able to sit in with the folks on the Heritage Commission in those meetings, and they're very mindful of the entire history of Fremont County from border to border. So thank you guys for everything you do.
Thank you.
And I will therefore move the approval of the proclamation for Fremont Fall Heritage Days, September 7th through November 7th, 2021.
Second, along with my thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to approve the proclamation for Fremont Fall Heritage Day, September 7th through November 7th, 2021. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thanks, Linda. We have a proclamation
Thank
for
you.
you to take as well. There you go. Thank you. Okay, the hour is 10:05 actually, so we have a couple public hearings here that we need to get to. The first one is for the Council of Governments. Amanda? Good morning.
Good morning.
So we have a rehab grant closeout for the Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments. What this is, we have to have a public hearing for this. We won't take any action, but if anybody wishes to speak when you get done, or if we have any questions, we'll go from there. So we'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you. So we officially ended our rehab grant for 2021 and started a new one. But we were able to complete 11 jobs out of 16 that we needed to complete. Part of the problem with getting those jobs completed was because of COVID and the stay-at-home order. We also ran into issues with getting contractors to make any bids because they too couldn't come out to the job site or they didn't have staff. We also had issues with not being able to get supplies to do the remodels, the rehabs. But we also were notified by the state in April of 2020 that we can no longer assist mobile homes on rented lots, which in our community and all the communities we serve is really bad for our program. We actually turned away 44 potential applicants because of that. I've advocated with the state on all of the problems that we had and everything we ran into, and we were not the only program. Every single program within the state had the same issues. Not one was able to fulfill their grant. So they're still working with us and pleased at our progress. But I wanted to give the opportunity for the community to let us know how we did, or any advice or anything they wanted to say to us, or if you guys had questions as well.
So this is a public hearing. I need to open the public hearing.
Oh, yeah.
And if there is anyone that would wish to speak on this or about this, now would be the time, or if the commissioners have any comments as well.
Just a note of thank you. I know you work a lot with some very low-income folks, and housing is really hard in all of Fremont County and pretty much the entire COG area right now. And so everything that you're able to do to help someone stay in a home, I think is a project that is absolutely worth doing. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So of those 40-some applications that you had to turn down, were you able to help those people in some other way or guide them in some other direction?
Yes, my guys in the rehab department are very resourceful, and so they will refer them out to another agency if they know that they can help them. A lot of them was the emergency furnace repair, and there is a program that is a grant that's offered through that they would refer them to. But I did advocate with the state about that being a problem. So this new grant that we're currently in, they're allowing us to do mobile home and rented lots. So we are now able to help them. We are reaching back out to those 44 applicants to see if we can still assist them.
Good, that's awesome.
So what brought about the change from the state as far as not allowing that?
I honestly don't know, other than I think probably the value of the mobiles tend to be a little bit lower, and we can only serve up to $24,999 to do a loan. So if the value is less than that, it's a loss. So I believe that's more of the reason why.
Was the restriction coming down through DOLA or, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anyone else that would like to speak? If not, I will close the public hearing.
Thank you.
And Amanda, thank
All right.
you.
Thanks for being
coming
here.
in. Okay, item number 2, which is also a public hearing, is a request for approval of a temporary use permit 21-005, We're All Made of Stars, Black Tie Gala fundraiser, which I can't attend, to be held Saturday, September 11th from 5 to 11 a.m. We have Ashley Sack here this morning.
I'm telling Nancy Kazar that you said that. She's got a tux with your name on it. You can even wear a bolo tie. That's fine.
I did. I guess that wasn't on here. I don't know where that came from. But so, good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
So we'll just let you, let me
Did you open?
Open this public hearing, and I'll let you start with your plans.
Sure. So the liquor permit has already been approved. We went through that last time. And this is just for the, wait, we're on the temporary use permit. Yes, temporary use permit. So essentially, we're utilizing the Royal Gorge Dinosaur Experience, which is a perfect event venue. They have apt space for the number of folks that we have. We cap this between 150 to 200 people to make sure that we aren't exceeding the space allowance for the fire department for that venue. We have a perimeter. It's already fenced and ready to roll. We offer we do offer cocktail service and also food service. We've been in contact with the health department to make sure that if any upcoming issues arise with COVID precautions, that we will be in contact with them. So yeah, it's a great event venue. It's a very unique event to Fremont County. There are no other events that require formal attire. We have members of the Colorado Springs Symphony Orchestra who will be attending and providing music, so we're very excited for that. It's something a little different, and it should be a fun time. Some people I know who work at the library said they wanted to go.
So I need to clarify why I cannot attend. Ashley said I couldn't wear jeans. I don't have anything but jeans of some kind. I do have black ones, but she said no, so.
I said no.
Yeah.
And they don't make such clothing in your size?
They do not. Yeah, it's a
I got a
rarity.
6'2" husband with a waist like this, and he found
He
a
found
tux.
something.
Yeah, no. It's really fun. We talked about this, and I know I am pretty strict on the, something like, it seems silly, a dress code, but I mean, even hearkening back to, the olden days when you would get dressed up in your Sunday best for something, and it showed respect for the other attendees. It's something a little different. We see each other every day, and for me it's bike clothes, and for others it's your attire that you just wear to work, and it's really nice to see people in a different light and to show off a different side of ourselves and our community. And we also, I think I mentioned, this is an important day for United States of America. It's September 11th. We wrestled with whether or not we should have an event on that day, and we decided, let's bring it back to top of mind. And we are, as a community, donating a portion of the proceeds of this event to purchasing a cobblestone that will be laid at the 9/11 Museum and Memorial. So we're pretty excited about doing something meaningful and respectful, and it just feels appropriate for something that's kind of elevated and elegant to do something that would honor those lives who were lost.
That's pretty awesome right
extra
there.
element.
Yeah.
I have the same problem Mrs. McFall has, that I would love to go, and I have a closet full of clothing that I've worn maybe once. I have so many things, but my husband was hanging in there until I said formal attire. He said, I'm not putting on a tuxedo, I'm not even putting on a suit, so we're not going. And I said, well, so I don't know, maybe Kendra and I could be each other's date.
Moretta, is there any clause in our ticket purchasing policy that says you have to take your husband? Can you take your lady friend?
There you go.
Yes, you absolutely can. In fact, Commissioner Bell, we do actually have a lot of women who come as a group. You don't have to come with a formal date. You can come by yourself with a group. It really just is a fun time to dress up. And if you don't enjoy it, then yeah, don't come. There's so many other wonderful events happening in the month of September, alternatives, community events and gatherings. So yeah, we encourage everyone to enjoy any of the events that are happening. But if you have a dress in the back of your closet, come, enjoy, wear it. We'll have fun.
Okay, so I will note that we don't have a person from our planning and zoning department here today, but they did review this. We have it in our packet, so we won't get a verbal from them, but there are no contingencies. There is a waiver request for a surety bond, and no other recommendations. So with that being said, with this being a public hearing, if there commissioners, do you have any questions for
No more.
Ashley right now? Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this event?
Moretta doesn't want to speak, period. So.
She's sitting back there shaking her head.
She's wonderful. She does have to work, just so everyone knows. She just
Okay, so I will close this public hearing and ask the commissioners their wishes.
Sure, Mr. Chair, I think this sounds like a fabulous event. As I indicated, I would like to be there. We'll see how all of that goes. But I agree with our planning and zoning department that everything is here. I don't see any issues or problems. I know you held this event last year, and it was very successful, and there were no problems from the county's viewpoint. So, Mr. Chair, I am happy to make the motion to approve this temporary use permit, number 21-005. We Are All Made of Stars Black Tie Gala fundraiser event to be held Saturday, September 11th from 5 to 10 p.m. And this motion does include waiving the surety bond.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve temporary use permit 21-005, We're All Made of Stars Black Tie Gala fundraiser event to be held Saturday, September 11th, and it's at the Dinosaur Experience on Highway 50 with the waiver of the surety bond. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. I hope it goes really well. Thank you. I'm sure it will.
Now we go back to the regular agenda. We're on item number 4, which is a special events liquor permit for Community Resource Center, Heart of Colorado Rural Philanthropy Days. We're at a Karaki, is that how you say it?
Shiraki. Close enough.
Look, she's got to get up and talk after.
She had to, that's why she was waiting. Okay, Maretta.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Let's see, gotta get to the right page here.
Yeah.
Okay, if you'll just start out and tell us what you have going on.
Okay, so Heart of Colorado Rural Philanthropy Days is coming to Fremont County from September 21st to 23rd. It's a 3-day event put on by Community Resource Center, and their mission is to bring together regional nonprofit professionals with grant makers, grant writers, distinguished officials, and bring them together in networking so they can further their nonprofits. There's a lot of learning opportunities throughout the conference, and the event that I'm talking about today is a special event at the Dinosaur Experience on September 22nd from 6:30 to 9:30. It's going to be a taste of Fremont County, and so we'll have several local catering companies, Aspen Leaf Bakery, and some alcohol provided by Florence Brewing Company and by the Abbey Winery. And it's just a networking event where people can talk to each other and have a nice time.
And no formal dress, correct?
No, it's business casual.
A couple of comments I would have. It's been many years ago, but I had the opportunity once to attend a Heart of Colorado Rural Philanthropy Days. It was a different experience at that time, different than what's happening now, but I think it's kind of evolved into something that is going to be an incredible event here for all of Fremont County. And we're excited about it happening. I think we even have donated some money from the county to make this event happen because we can see a lot of really good results coming out of this. One thing we see happening is people are going to come here who don't usually come here, and they're going to see with their own eyes what a beautiful place we have, and they're going to want to come back. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yes.
So I actually think that that really is going to happen. So yeah, I think it's just a great event.
Good, thank you.
I agree. Have any questions for her?
None for me.
Can I get a staff report? Talia, please.
Yes. The applicant is requesting a special event permit for malt, Venus, and spirituous liquor. We received their application on July 26th, and they have provided all necessary documentation. They have also submitted proof of posting on August 9th.
Okay, thank you. I will note too that we also have letter of recommendation or recommend approval from our health officer and from the sheriff's
And from the
department.
sheriff, yes.
And it's essentially the same layout as we approved for the other event last meeting.
I think that fencing was a really great idea.
Okay, if you have any other questions, if not, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we approve the special event liquor permit for the Community Resource Center's Heart of Colorado Rural easy for me to say, Philanthropy Days at 44895 West US Highway 50, Canyon City, on September 22nd, 2021, between 6 and 10 p.m.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve the special events liquor permit for Community Resource Center's Heart of Colorado Rural Philanthropy Days. At 44895 West Highway 50, which is a Dinosaur Experience, September 22nd, 2021, between 6 and 10 p.m. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. I hope it goes well.
Number 5, we have a special event fermented malt liquor malt permit for Early Connections Learning Centers, National Senior Pro Rodeo, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. And Ms. Liz Dennison. And partner.
And guest.
And Becca. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I really appreciate you all having us here this morning. We are bringing the National Senior Pro Rodeo back to Pathfinder Park. In 2020, like most everything, we were unfortunately had to postpone the event. And this year, instead of having it in June, we had something else going on. So we moved the event to September. So it'll be September 17th, 18th, and 19th. We've added an additional night this year. The previous 2 years, it was just the Saturday and Sunday. On the Friday night this year, we'll have a timed event, Rodeo, which will just be everything but rough stock. And so we anticipate people coming into town sooner. And regarding the contestants, we also feel that this year is going to be one of our biggest years we've had. It's the last rodeo of the season for this association, and so everyone will be coming to try to get their points for the end of the year. And then also there's a rodeo in Hugo just 2 days before, so people will go to Hugo and then come here, and it'll be the last rodeo before the finals. So we're anticipating a large crowd from contestant perspective. We've also moved the date strategically to coincide with Florence Pioneer Days. We feel that working with the city of Florence and building upon both of our audiences will make the event just greater in general for both of us.
Okay, any questions at this point?
Nope.
Not yet.
Can you get a staff report on this one, please?
The applicant is requesting a fermented malt beverage special event permit for a rodeo event at Pathfinder Park. We received their application on August 2nd, and they have provided all necessary documentation, and they submitted a proof of posting on August 12th.
Thank you. I will note again that we also have a letter from the health officer recommending approval and from the sheriff's department. And I noticed, Liz, that you guys have the entire bleachers. Are you going to fence those off?
Yes, sir. Similar to what we did in 2019, we had livestock paneling that went around the beer garden area and then went up to the edge of the bleachers. And so the opening between the two bleachers will have a security person standing there who will be making sure that no one's coming in or out with any beer. It'll just be in the stands and then in that beer garden area underneath the new pavilion as well.
Can you talk a little bit about the servers and how you will be training those people as well as checking IDs?
Sure. We're actually working with servers who are tip certified already, so they work in different bars in Pueblo and or Canyon or Florence. So we picked them strategically to make sure that they knew what they were doing and we could trust them with what was going on. And they're actually the same server, the person who's in charge of the beer garden area, she's worked with us the past 2 years. And so she's very familiar with how the event works and what type of restrictions we have in place. We'll be working with the Budweiser distributor out of Pueblo who'll be providing wristbands to make sure that everyone's ID'd when they won't be able to walk into that small beer garden area unless they're over 21. And then, of course, in the stands, they'll have to have a wristband in order to be having a beer in their hand.
Okay, so at that smaller part, which is now going to be under a shade structure, it's not in this picture, but you'll have somebody there checking IDs, and that's where the beer will be served from.
Correct, and not exactly only in that little covered area, the covered area, and then it it kind of has where that tree is and where the water collects. That little area right there will all be the 21 and up beer garden area that will have fenced off with livestock paneling.
Where the water collects. We need to fix that piece, because it does collect there. You're 100% right.
I think, in my opinion, it makes sense to include all of the seating and the grandstands in this request, because no one wants to buy a beer and shoot it down and then go sit back down.
And you can't see from there. There's the electrical boxes, so it makes it really difficult to see the rodeo.
And I think there are a lot of folks who would enjoy sitting and drinking a beer while they're watching their favorite cowboys and cowgirls out there. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, any further questions, concerns?
Nope.
Entertain a
I
motion.
don't think so. All right, Mr. Chair, let me get back up to the top here. I move to approve a special event fermented malt permit for Early Connections Learning Center's National Senior Pro Rodeo on September 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve a special events fermented malt permit for Early Connections Learning Center's National Senior Pro Rodeo, September 17th, 18th, and 19th at Pathfinder Park. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Liz.
all.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Great.
I hope you'll join us. This will be a fun year.
Sounds like fun. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
I hope it goes well.
Item number 6. This is a booze kind of day, I guess. Special
We have a
event,
lot of events coming up this fall.
liquor permit for Fremont Adventure Recreation, the Royal 50 mountain bike race on October 16th from 12 to 8 p.m. And again, we have Ashley Sack.
Hi.
Okay, tell us about your event here again.
Okay, so we have 2 events coming up in October that were on the same temporary use permit. The October 9th one is just a run with no liquor, just fun. So the mountain bike event is on October 16th, and that's what we're here to talk about today. It's essentially very similar to last year, or 2019's event, where it was a full weekend event. It's a similar idea. We just have a beer garden surrounding that Gunslingers Lounge up at the Royal Gorge Ranch and Resort. All of our events start and stop at that location. It's a fantastic viewpoint to see the Sangres, the entire Royal Gorge area system, and of course those trails tie into the greater Royal Gorge trail system that is owned and operated by the city. So owner Ty Cipher has been kind enough to let us use that property once again. So we fence off an area surrounding the Gunslingers Lounge, and we will have beer for sale in cans, working with Breckenridge Brewery to provide that. And we will institute all of the proper precautions for ensuring that we are checking IDs for entrance to that beer garden area and doing the black X of shame for being under 21 and not being allowed to have any liquor. That's essentially it.
Okay, can I get a staff report, please?
The applicant is requesting a special event liquor permit for an event at 1 Buckskin Joe Parkway in Canyon City. We received their application on July 29th, and they have provided all necessary documentation. They also submitted their proof of posting on August 11th.
Thank you. And I'll note again that we do have a recommendation of approval from the health inspector and the sheriff department.
Will you be using wristbands for this event?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and the area for the beer garden will be fenced off?
Yes, we use that snow fencing, that black far snow fencing that we generally use for most of our events.
Okay.
Best purchase ever.
I have nothing further.
None from me.
I know if it's ran like the last event was up there, it's pretty secure with that fence, and there's 2 entrances, but you'll have people there watching those again, I assume.
Yeah, and it's a pretty small area.
Yeah.
It's not, I always kind of harken back to things like the Whitewater Festival. They're so large, and you have people just at every corner. This is very intimate, very small. At most, I would imagine we only have about 150 riders and some spectators, so it's very easy to monitor what's going on in and outside of that beer garden area.
And this could be formal bike wear, correct?
Formal spandex.
Yes. Okay. All right. If you have
high-heeled bike shoes.
no other questions, commissioners, I would entertain a motion. A bolo and spandex, yeah.
Bolo and spandex, okay. So do I make that part of the motion, or?
No.
I think you should.
No.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the special event liquor permit for Fremont Adventure Recreation's Royal 50 Mountain Bike Race on October 16th from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I second that, just with the note that FAR has been doing many of these events for a long time now. And I think you have the organization piece of it down. I think you guys do an excellent job of organizing and putting on these events. So we wish you well.
Thank you.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve special event liquor permit for Fremont Adventure Recreation Royal 50 Mountain Bike Race on October 16th from 12 to 8 p.m. at 1 Buckskin Joe. That was the address, correct? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, see you there, Commissioner McFall.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible.
Get your
Thanks,
bike
Ashley.
out.
If my son-in-law rides it, I'll be there, but
No.
not this guy.
Sweeps his categories.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and last but not least, we have item number 7, a request for approval for Hermosa Minor Subdivision 21-007 that will create a total of 2 lots. The subject property is located in the Agriculture Suburban Zone District on Grand Avenue in Canyon City, Colorado. And we have Matt Koch here as representative. Good morning again, Matt.
Good morning. So we are requesting a approval of a 2-lot subdivision on Grand. There is an existing house that will remain on Lot 2, which will be a half acre. Lot 1, which will be 1.9 acres, it will be vacant. All the necessary utilities are adjacent, so there are no improvements that are needed. We have 3 contingencies, access permits, closure sheets, and a ratification consent form that we're still waiting on. The only clarification I would like and request is on the access permits. Typically, those are done at the time of building permits. So if we could remove Lot 1 from the requirement of a contingency, since they'll have to get that when they submit for a building permit. And then a waiver request for the drainage plan and features, which has been approved by the county engineer. So.
Okay.
So lot 1 will be the big one?
Yeah,
In
that's
back?
the big L-shaped one, yeah.
And then lot 2 is the existing house?
Correct.
That would still have the contingency?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have questions this morning, I think, Mr. Chair. This, again, seems to be relatively straightforward. Matt's become an expert in putting these together. He knows what the county requires, and I think he does a good job in getting all of those things done. I just would like to, however, make a note that we do require minor subdivisions, even to split one parcel into 2, simply because if you're looking at a major subdivision and decide to do it piecemeal and divide it into 2 and there's nothing required, and divide it into 2 and there's no permit required, and divide it into 2 again. I mean, you could split a lot into 48 pieces, and if the county did not require minor subdivision, then we would never have a say in what was happening there. And so that's really just as a brief explanation, maybe to folks who listen to these and say, well, they always seem to just fly right through. This doesn't appear to be one of those that has been split before and split before. I don't see any kind of recommendations or requirements that you haven't already met, so.
And once again, we don't have a staff member from the planning and zoning, but we do have their information in our packet, and it does list the contingencies, access permit for lot 1 and 2, which you just mentioned, the closure sheet, the executed ratification, consent, and release forms, and then the waiver request for the drainage plan. And I do recommend it with those contingencies, and we can do the lot 1 if we so desire, as Matt has requested, until building.
Right. And just a note, the Fremont County Engineer has reviewed the request for the waiver, and he does recommend approval of that. It's his belief that this property does not propose a flood risk to any neighboring counties, or properties, I'm sorry. So there's that.
Or counties.
either.
Or counties.
Really.
The big picture.
Yes.
Well, if you're ready for a motion.
Yes, sir. Entertain a motion.
Well, then, Mr. Chair, I move that we would approve the request for the minor subdivision, Hermosa Minor Subdivision 21-007. Create a total of 2 lots. Subject property located in the Ag Suburban Zone District on Grand Avenue in Canyon City. And this includes the contingency items for the access permit for Lot 2 only, the closure sheets, and the executed ratification consent and release forms. This also would include the waiver requests for the drainage plan.
Second.
That's it.
Can we have that contingency with Lot 2 for the access permit, Lot 1 up on
I think that's already a
construction?
requirement.
Yeah, it is.
So,
It would be a requirement as soon as.
at that time.
As soon as
At
their
that time,
construction.
anyway. Yeah.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to approve Hermosa Minor Subdivision 21-007. It will create a total of 2 lots. The property is located in Agriculture Suburban Zone District on Grand Avenue in Canyon City, with the contingencies of access permit for lot number 2, closure sheets, executed ratification, consent and release forms, and a waiver request, a waiver granted for the drainage plan. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Matt.
sir.
Okay, item number 9 is adoption of the Pathfinder Regional Park Facility Usage Policy and Agreement. We have got to thank Sonny and Tammy and Jeremy for getting all this information together. We have, with Pathfinder Park being built out, so to speak, with the building going up out there, and hopefully the usage will increase dramatically. I had to figure out how to charge for the uses of the building and once it gets open and that type of stuff, and they came up with all this information doing research with other counties and different things, and it was presented to us, and that's what we're here to discuss at this point. You guys have any concerns or questions? I think this is going to be something that the way it is proposed today, and it's really long, so I don't want to go through all of it, but arena fees, the building fees, groups, different things that can use the buildings and the area. It may have to be adjusted in a year or two, we don't know.
That's pretty much what I was going to say, Mr.
Trying
Chair,
to
is
start.
that this is going to be an ongoing thing as we evolve with what the park becomes and what the facility becomes and how it's used, and I'm sure we'll be revisiting this often, but there's been a lot of good work that's gone into this on the front end that will enable us to hit the ground running as far as making good use of this facility for the community.
And we do know, because this is something that's so new to all of us, we don't have a community center right now that we agree to let the public use. This is going to be a living document. We do know that there will be changes to come, but we have to start somewhere. And so unless there are further comments, Mr. Chair, I have a motion.
I have none. None? Okay, entertain that motion.
With the note that these are available online to take a look at, so anyone who's interested, go to fremontco.com and find these policies there. There also is an application for use of this new community center, and we already have started receiving inquiries as to when people can start renting it. So if you're one of those people, you have an event in mind, you would like to maybe take a look at this new community center to rent that out, please get in touch with CSU Extension and go through the information that's available online. So with that, Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the Pathfinder Regional Park Facility Usage Policies and Agreement.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt the Pathfinder Regional Park Facilities Usage Policies and Agreement. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And thanks again, Sonny, and if you'll pass that to Tammy and Jeremy as well for that. Thank you. Item number 10 is a reappointment for the Fair Board. We had an existing Fair Board member whose term, she filled a term that was vacated. She completed a 2-year term, and she has sent us a letter of interest to continue with the Fair Board. Her term does end in December, and she would like to be reappointed. Dana Swetland.
And this would be a three-year
right,
term.
This would be a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2024.
Well, Mr. Chair, if you're ready for another motion,
Yes, sir.
I move that we reappoint Dana Swetland to the Fair Board for 3-year term ending December 31, 2024.
I'll second. I think she's been a great addition to this organization, and I look forward to her continued service.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to reappoint Dana Swetland to the Fair Board for a term ending December 31st, 2024. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carried.